Hi, everybody. It's Sue here. This is a short, maybe 10-minute practice specifically for your lower back health. So join me on your back on the mat, and let's explore how we can release tension, tightness, and strengthen a little bit the lower back. So let's start lying on our backs. Bend your knees. And I want you to take your feet apart and put your knees together. So this is commonly called constructive rest pose. The hands are resting on your legs or ideally somewhere on your front body. And you're just going to soften here, relax into settling, closing your mouth, breathing through your nose. So this shape in itself is really healthy for your lower back. If you are tight or you have any kind of limitation, this usually feels really good. And so you could just start here. This practice doesn't need any props. All you need is yourself on the floor. Take one more breath. And then as you exhale, you can walk your feet toward each other, bring your legs into neutral. Cross your right knee, ankle over your left knee. And then we're going to work with what's called typically figure 4 stretch. So reach down in between your legs and pick your left foot up and interlace your fingers around your left thigh. Now, if that feels impossible, this might be fine for you. You might also try just holding your shin. The thing that I like to pay attention to here is overworking my arms, shoulders. So if I'm pulling too hard, my shoulders will come up, my neck will arch, and I'll just be completely congested. If I have the right amount of tension, I can soften my throat, I can soften my shoulders. I've got a little bit of tension in my right outer hip. You can flex both feet and keep your feet active. And as the outer right hip starts to soften and relax, you might be able to draw the legs in a little closer. Again, paying attention to how much you're working your arms. So typically this particular area of the hip has a lot to do with lower back function and health. So if this feels tight, I might recommend you do it regularly. And then go ahead and take your foot to the floor. Hop your hips over about an inch to the right and take your arms open to a T. From here, I want you to let your legs drift over to the left. See if you can place your right foot flat on the floor. Now that's a maybe. And what most people do is they just collapse this knee down. What I'd rather you do is keep the knee pointing to the ceiling. And if there's too much going on in your lower back here, if this feels too hard, you can uncross your legs and just put one leg on top of the other. Or you could put something under your right foot, like maybe a block. Turn your head to the right. Breathe into the whole right side of your body. So right hip, right lower back, right ribs, right chest. And see if you can feel and sense into releasing and letting go any sort of long held tension. Lower back health is not very common in our country. We do a lot of sitting, and sitting can be really problematic. So we're looking at range of motion, stability, mobility, and then strength. Go ahead and lift your legs up. Put your foot down on the floor, bring your hips back in the middle, and in between sides, I want you to push into your feet and lift your pelvis away from the floor. You can lift it an inch, you can lift it a foot, it doesn't matter. I just want you to activate both sides of your body. And then go ahead and relax and take the other side. Left ankle over right knee. Try to keep the shape open as you pick up your right foot, holding onto your right thigh or maybe your left shin. Soften shoulders, soften jaw, soften your effort. You want to be here without a lot of tension and discomfort. Keeping your feet flexed helps your knees to stay healthy, but do what feels intuitively good to your body. I'm a big advocate of what's called embodied wisdom, meaning really listening to the sensations and the, sort of information you're getting from your body. Does this feel good? Does this hurt? Am I not sure? Lots of questions. Take one more breath here. And then let your foot come to the floor. Hop your hips about an inch over to the left, arms open into a T, and then let your legs drift over gently to the right, trying to keep this knee upward. If your foot can touch the floor, it gives you something to anchor against. Otherwise, let your knee just rest on top, your leg rest on top of the other one. All right, eyes turn to the left, breathing into your left side body. There's been a recent study that tells us that, I forget the exact percentage, but a high percentage of people that deal with lower back issues mostly deal with them because they have tight, dehydrated, very stiff connective tissue and fascia. Now, you might have bone things going on too. That is not, a lot of times, according to this research, the primary issue. And so you might uh, think you've taken care of it if you've gone for surgery or you've done some other kind of extreme thing. And this particular article talked about the huge number of people that 2 years later they still had the same pain because they didn't address the fascia and the connective tissue. Go ahead and come on back up. Put your foot down on the floor, bring your hips back to neutral. And then again, with your arms down, your shoulders back, you just push yourself up away from the floor. So bridging is in pretty much every therapy for low back health. Why? Because it keeps your active musculature from the gluteal muscles all the way up through the sides of the spine nice and active. Go ahead and relax. Bring your knees to your chest. Now, this is something I see often. They pull really hard. See what happened to my neck? So I want you to just gently draw your knees to your chest. Go to a place where you just feel a little bit of action and soften into this shape. This is upside down child's pose, and a lot of people prefer this because they can't kneel on their knees. And so this is a nice place if you're in one of those places. So take one more breath here. And then you're going to roll over onto your side, push yourself up away from the floor, and then you're going to come to tabletop. Hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Turn your toes under, lift your tailbone, lift your heart, lift your eyes. And then press your toenails to the mat. Exhale, tailbone down, head down. When you get rounded up, push through your arms and really open up the back of your body. Turn the toes under, lift your tailbone, lift your heart, lift your eyes. And then rounding. So this is traditionally called cat and cow. You're flexing and extending the spine with complete freedom because you're not pushing against any kind of solid structure. And then come to a middle ground, someplace where you feel pretty neutral. Head is lined up with your spine. Take your right leg straight back and then just lift your right leg up, toes to the floor. Now this is activating the right side of your body. If you have balance and you want to, take your left arm forward, thumb to the sky. And we stay for a breath or two, working on the core stability and the strength of the back. Lower down, other foot, left leg back, Toes stay facing the floor, so be careful about dropping or moving your hips around. Keep that nice and level. And then you can stay here, or you can reach your right arm forward. Taking a breath here, noticing the difference in your stability. Exhale, hands down. And now from here, I want you to keep your hips where they are. Walk your hands out in front of you, way out in front of you, and you're going to melt your chest and your forehead down onto the mat. This is puppy pose. If this feels way too hard for your shoulders, come up, put your elbows on the floor and touch your palms together and see if that's a little better. So what I want you to pay attention to here is, can the upper body melt? Draw the belly in slightly, the lower belly, so that you're not hanging in your lower back. And take a breath or two here. And then slowly start to bring yourself up. And while you're here, if you are on your hands, drop your elbows, bring your palms together, and shift your weight over your shoulders. So you can stay here in this kneeling plank. This helps to stabilize your core body. If that doesn't feel strong enough, turn your toes under and push out through your legs. Now this can be very strong, so just know where you are. Feel free to put your knees down and pay attention to the middle of your body feeling a little bit like a corset. Like the front muscles are pulling in, the side muscles are pulling in, and the back muscles are pulling in, and everything is supporting the whole. Take one more breath. And then let your hips drop to the floor gently now. And come into Sphinx pose, elbows under shoulders, palms down. Again, letting the heart melt, letting the middle of your upper back melt. If this feels too hard on your lower back, maybe your lower back's sensitive, you can walk your elbows wider and drop down further. So your ribs are more on the floor, but you're still in a little bit of a bend. Take one more breath. And then allow your hands to come under your shoulders, push yourself back and up. Now, knees are a little bit wider. This is for the people that can do child's pose. Your hips go back towards your heels. Go nice and slow. And when you're here, can you wiggle your hands forward again, letting your head come towards the mat? If you're really far away, maybe your hips are up in the air, come to your forearms, put your head on your hands, and work towards, if you can, hips moving back. Take one more breath here. And then slowly bring yourself up into a sitting position. Now, if you're sitting on your feet like I am, you might want a block underneath your feet. If you want to use something like that, you can also change your leg position. And what I want you to sense and feel here is a neutral spine. Tailbone's heavy. And then there's this gentle inward curve at your lower back, a gentle outward curve at your thoracic spine, and a gentle inward curve at your cervical spine. And so those all balance each other. Crown of the head, which is towards the back of the head, moves up as the tailbone moves down, creating length. And take about 5 breaths here. Just soften into this neutral position. And again, if you can't sit on your knees the way I am, sit in a chair or sit in a different form on the floor, just making sure that you can actually sit tall. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful day. Look for another short video coming very soon. Let me know in the comments below how you liked that short action, short yoga practice for the lower back.